The woman walked into the auto shop holding a job application. 10 minutes later, the owner looked at her and said, "I'm sorry, but I don't need an employee. I need a wife." For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. The sound of a metal tool hitting the floor echoed through the garage. A little boy sitting beside an open car who'd looked up near the office door. A young girl froze with her school backpack still on her shoulders. The woman slowly lowered the application. "Excuse me," she asked. Daniel Brooks immediately realized how terrible his words sounded. He wiped his greasy hands on an old cloth and shook his head. No, that came out completely wrong. Daniel was 38 years old and owned Brooks Auto Repair, a small neighborhood garage that had once belonged to his father. He was known as an honest mechanic who never charged customers for work they did not need, but honesty did not pay every bill. For the past 3 years, Daniel had also been raising his 2 children alone. His wife Rebecca had died after a long illness. Since then, Daniel had become a father, mother, cook, cleaner, mechanic, bookkeeper, and homework helper all at once. His daughter Lily was 10. She was quiet, responsible, and far too mature for her age. His son Noah was 6. He was energetic, curious, and always asking questions at the worst possible moment. Their small apartment was above the repair shop. Every morning, Daniel woke before sunrise, prepared breakfast, packed school lunches, and opened the garage. In the afternoon, the children came straight to the shop because he could not afford regular childcare. Lily did her homework behind the office desk. Noah played with old nuts, bolts, and toy cars while Daniel worked. On good days, the arrangement barely worked. On bad days, everything fell apart. That Monday had been one of the worst. A customer was angry because a part had arrived late. Noah had spilled juice over 3 invoices. Lily had forgotten her lunch at home. Daniel had missed a meeting with her teacher because a customer's car would not start. Now, a woman named Claire Morgan stood in front of him, wondering whether she had applied for a job at the strangest repair shop in town. Daniel took a breath. "What I meant was, I don't just need someone to answer phones," he explained. "I need somebody who can organize the office, deal with customers, keep track of the children, remind me about school meetings, find missing socks, and somehow stop dinner from burning." Claire stared at him. Daniel gave a tired laugh. "So basically, I need a miracle, or a wife. Not that I'm asking you to become one." From behind the desk, Lily covered her face with both hands. "Dad," she whispered. Claire looked at the children, then back at Daniel. She could see the exhaustion in his eyes. His shirt was stained with oil. A half-eaten sandwich sat on a toolbox. A handwritten notice on the office wall read, "Lily Dentist Wednesday," but the word Wednesday had been crossed out twice. Claire had come to the shop because she needed work badly. She had spent 8 years working as an office manager for a large car dealership. She understood invoices, inventory, customer service, and basic vehicle repair terms. But after her mother became ill, Claire had left the city to care for her. Her mother had died 6 months earlier. Since then, Claire had been living alone in the small house she inherited. Her savings were almost gone, and every job application seemed to end the same way. "You're overqualified. We need someone younger. We already filled the position." Brooks Auto Repair was her last interview that week. Claire looked around the messy office. Bills were stacked beside coloring books. Customer keys hung from hooks with no labels. The appointment book was open to the wrong month. "You do need help," she said. Daniel nodded. "More than I can afford." The truth was that he had placed the job advertisement in a moment of panic. The shop was losing customers because he could not answer calls while repairing cars. But after checking his bank account that morning, he knew he could only pay for 20 hours a week. Claire opened her folder. The advertisement said full-time. "I know. And now you can't afford full-time." Daniel looked embarrassed. "Not yet." Claire should have walked out. Instead, she asked, "How many customers have you lost because no one answers the phone?" Daniel glanced toward the silent office phone. "Too many." "How many unpaid invoices?" He hesitated. "I'm not sure." "How much inventory do you have?" "I know where most of it is." Claire raised one eyebrow. Daniel sighed. "All right, I have no idea." Claire placed her application on the desk. "Give me 2 weeks." Daniel frowned. 2 weeks for what? "To prove I can bring in enough money to pay my own salary. And if you can't, you pay me for the hours I worked, and I leave." Daniel looked at her carefully. He did not like taking chances with money, especially when his children depended on him. But he also knew the shop would not survive if he kept working this way. Before he could answer, Noah walked over holding a broken toy truck. "Can you fix this?" he asked Claire. Claire crouched beside him. "I'm not a mechanic. My dad is," Noah said, "but he's always fixing everybody else's things." Claire looked up at Daniel. The words hit him harder than Noah knew. Daniel took the application and held out his hand. 2 weeks, he said. Claire shook it. 2 weeks. On her first day, Claire arrived at 7:30 in the morning. Daniel was downstairs making pancakes on a small electric stove in the office because the kitchen above had run out of gas. "This is temporary," he said. Claire looked at the burnt pancakes. "Which part?" Daniel almost smiled. By noon, Claire had labeled every customer key, sorted the unpaid invoices, and created a proper appointment schedule. She called customers who had missed services and contacted suppliers about delayed parts. By the end of the day, she had collected payment on 3 old invoices. During the second day, she noticed that Daniel charged less than every nearby repair shop. "You're underpricing your work," she told him. "I'm being fair." "You can be fair without working for free." Daniel did not like the conversation, but Claire showed him the numbers. On several repairs, he was earning less than the cost of labor and electricity together. They adjusted the prices slightly and created written estimates for customers. Claire was calm with angry callers. She remembered names. She explained repairs in simple words. She even placed a small table in the office for the children's homework. The shop slowly began to change. So did the children. Lily started talking to Claire after school. Noah followed her around and asked endless questions. "Do you have children?" "No." "Do you like children?" "Sometimes." "Do you like Dad?" Claire nearly dropped the box she was carrying. Daniel, working under a car, hit his head on the frame. "Noah," he called sharply. "What?" Noah asked. "She's nice." Claire tried not to laugh. For the first time in years, Daniel felt that his life was becoming manageable. That frightened him more than the chaos ever had, because every time he began to depend on Claire, he remembered what it had felt like to lose Rebecca, and he promised himself that he would never let anyone become that important again. At the end of Claire's 2-week trial, the shop had earned enough to cover her full salary. Daniel stood in the office holding the updated records. "You did this?" he asked. "We did this," Claire replied. "No, I repaired cars." "You saved the business." Claire smiled. "Then I suppose I'm hired." Daniel offered her the full-time position. She accepted. Over the next 3 months, Brooks Auto Repair became busy again. Customers liked the clear prices and friendly service. Claire created a system for ordering parts and helped Daniel advertise the shop online. But outside the business, Daniel's family life was still difficult. Lily had begun struggling at school. Her grades were falling, and she had stopped spending time with friends. One evening, Claire found her crying behind the office desk. "What happened?" Claire asked. Lily quickly wiped her face. "Nothing." Claire sat beside her without pushing. After a long silence, Lily whispered, "There's a family dance at school." Claire waited. "Everyone is supposed to bring their parents," Lily continued. "Dad said he'll come, but he always says that. Then someone's car breaks down, or a customer needs him. He may still come." Lily shook her head. "He missed my teacher meeting. He missed my music program. Last year, he forgot my birthday cake." Claire's heart tightened. "He didn't forget your birthday," Claire said gently. "I know. He just forgot everything around it." That night, Claire told Daniel about the dance. He was tightening a wheel when she said, "Lily thinks you won't show up." Daniel stopped working. "I told her I would." She has heard that before. His face hardened. "I'm doing everything I can." "I know." "No, you don't. You don't know what it's like to keep a roof over to children while trying to be everywhere at the same time." Claire stayed calm. "You're right. I don't know exactly what that feels like, but I know Lily doesn't need a perfect father. She needs a father who keeps one important promise." Daniel looked away. The dance was scheduled for Friday evening. Daniel blocked the time in the appointment book. Claire refused every late booking. Lily chose a blue dress that had belonged to her mother, though it needed small repairs. Claire helped her fix the loose hem on Friday afternoon. Everything seemed ready. Then, 1 hour before the dance, a longtime customer named Mr. Harris arrived in a panic. His car was making a dangerous sound, and he needed it for a medical appointment the next morning. Daniel inspected the vehicle and found damaged wheel bearing. "It isn't safe to drive," he said. "Can you fix it tonight?" Mr. Harris asked. "The hospital is 2 hours away, and my wife can't miss this appointment." Daniel looked at the clock. The repair would take at least 2 hours upstairs. Lily was getting dressed. Daniel rubbed his forehead. Claire understood the choice on his face. "You should go to the dance," she said. "I'll arrange a ride for Mr. Harris and finish the paperwork. I can't leave his car like this." "Then call another mechanic. They're all closed." Mr. Harris looked ashamed. "I'm sorry. I didn't know where else to go." Daniel thought of Lily waiting in her blue dress. Then he thought of Mr. Harris's sick wife. "I'll fix it," Daniel said quietly. Claire stared at him. "Daniel, I can still make the last hour of the dance. You said that about the music program." He looked at her sharply. "This is my decision." Claire stepped back. "All right." At 6:30, Lily came downstairs. She wore the blue dress and held a small silver purse. Her hair was neatly tied back, just as her mother used to wear hers. Daniel looked up from the car. For a moment, he could not breathe. Lily looked so much like Rebecca. "You look beautiful," he said. "Are you ready?" she asked. Daniel glanced at the unfinished repair. "I need a little more time." Lily's smile disappeared. "How much?" "Maybe an hour. The dance starts in 30 minutes. I'll meet you there. Claire can take you." Lily looked at Claire, then at her father. "You promised." "I know, sweetheart. This is an emergency. There is always an emergency." Her voice did not rise. That made it more painful. Daniel removed his gloves. "Lily, Please understand. I do understand, she said. Cars need you more than I do. That isn't true. Then prove it. Daniel stood frozen. Lily turned and ran upstairs. Claire followed her. Daniel wanted to go after them, but Mr. Harris's car was still lifted, with parts spread across the floor. He returned to work, telling himself he would finish quickly. But one bolt was rusted in place, then a replacement. Part did not fit by the time the car was safe. It was nearly 9. The dance ended at 9:30. Daniel drove to the school as fast as he safely could. When he entered the gym, parents and children were already leaving. Claire stood near the wall holding Lily's coat. Where is she? Daniel asked. Claire pointed toward the empty stage. Lily sat alone on the edge, still wearing the blue dress. Daniel slowly walked toward her. Lily, she did not look up. I'm sorry. The music had stopped. Workers were folding tables around them. I tried to wait, she whispered. Claire danced with me once so I wouldn't be alone. Daniel sat beside her. Mr. Harris needed help. So did I. He closed his eyes. You're right. Lily finally looked at him. Tears filled her eyes. Mom would have come. Daniel felt as if the floor had disappeared under him. I know. No, you don't, she said. Because when Mum was here, you used to come to. She stood and walked toward Claire. Daniel remained on the stage alone, staring at the balloons and paper decorations. Later that night, he went upstairs and found Lily asleep. The blue dress was folded on the chair. Beside it was an old family photograph. Rebecca stood between Daniel and Lily at a school picnic. Noah had not been born yet. All three of them were laughing. On the back, Rebecca had written, "The best thing we can give our children is our time." Daniel sat on the floor and covered his face. Downstairs, Claire was closing the office when she heard him approach. She expected him to apologize. Instead, Daniel said, "You should find another job." Claire turned around. What? The business is stable now. You've done what you came to do. Did I do something wrong? No. Then why are you firing me? Daniel could not admit the truth. Claire had become part of their lives. The children trusted her. He trusted her, and that trust made him feel exposed. You're too involved, he said. In the business, in my family. Claire's face changed. I never tried to replace anyone I know. Then what are you afraid of? Daniel said nothing. Claire's eyes filled with hurt. You were right on the first day, she said softly. You didn't need an employee. You needed someone to carry everything you refused to put down. That isn't fair. No, what isn't fair is expecting people to care about your family and then pushing them away when they do. Daniel looked toward the stairs. Claire picked up her bag. I'll finish the week, she said. After that, I'm gone. She walked out of the shop. Daniel watched her leave, knowing he had just lost the only person who had helped his family feel whole again. The next morning, Claire did not arrive early. At 8 o'clock, she entered the shop, sat at her desk, and began working without speaking to Daniel. The warmth between them was gone. Lily noticed immediately. Is Claire leaving? She asked her father. Daniel continued sorting tools. She has another opportunity. That isn't what I asked. He looked at his daughter. Yes, he admitted. She's leaving. Why? Daniel could not answer. Lily's eyes narrowed. You made her leave. I thought it was best for who? Daniel had no reply. That afternoon, Noah overheard enough of the conversation to understand that Claire would not be coming back. He sat under the office table and refused to come out. When Claire crouched beside him, he asked, Are you leaving because we're bad? No, she said. You and Lily are wonderful. Is it because Dad said he needed a wife? Despite everything, Claire smiled. No. Then why? Claire looked toward Daniel. Sometimes adults become scared when they care about people. Noah thought about this. Dad is scared a lot. Daniel heard every word. That evening, the shop was unusually quiet. Daniel closed early and went upstairs to cook dinner. He burned the pasta. Noah complained that the sauce tasted strange. Lily barely ate. Daniel looked at the empty chair, where Claire had sometimes joined them. After a late day at work, he finally understood that he had been treating survival like a duty he had to perform. Alone, he thought being strong meant never needing help. But his children did not need the father who carried every burden until he broke. They needed a father who knew when to choose them. After dinner, Lily placed the family photograph on the table. Mom wrote something on the back. She said, I saw it. Do you believe it? Daniel looked at the words again. The best thing we can give our children is our time. Yes, he said. I do. Then why don't you? The question was simple. The answer was not. Daniel sat beside her. After your mother died, I became afraid that if I stopped working, everything else would disappear too. The shop, the apartment, our security. Lily listened silently. I thought providing for you meant making sure we never lost anything else, he continued. But I was so busy protecting our life that I stopped living it with you. Lily's eyes softened. I don't need a big birthday cake, she said. I just need you to be there when we cut it. Daniel pulled her close. I know. The next morning, Daniel made 3 decisions. First, he called another local mechanic, Marcus, and offered him part-time work. Marcus had previously asked for a job, but Daniel had been too worried about the cost. Second, he changed the shop hours. Brooks Auto Repair would no longer accept non-emergency jobs after 5-30. He drove to Claire's house before work, opened the door, wearing a coat and holding a box of office supplies. Was about to bring these back, she said. Daniel. He stood on the porch with his hands in his pockets. I'm not here about the supplies. Claire waited. I owe you an apology. You, do I pushed you away because the children cared about you? That makes no sense. I know. He looked down. After Rebecca died, I stopped believing that good things could stay. When you became important to Lily and Noah, I started thinking about what would happen if you left. So you made me leave first, yes. Claire's expression softened, but only slightly. Daniel continued. I also treated you as if helping my family was part of your job. It wasn't. You gave us more than I had any right to expect. Claire placed the box on the floor. What do you want? Daniel, I want you to come back to the shop. As an employee, as the manager, with better pay, clear hours, and no unpaid childcare. Claire almost smiled. That sounds more professional, and I want to ask something else. Daniel took a nervous breath. Not marriage, good dinner. Claire folded her arms. A business dinner. No, a thank you dinner. No. Daniel met her eyes. A real dinner. With me. Only if you want to. Claire studied him. Are you asking because you need someone to organize your life? No. I'm asking because when you're not there, I miss you. For the first time that morning, Claire smiled fully. One dinner, she said. No promises after that. One dinner. Claire returned to the shop the following Monday, but the changes were real. Marcus handled late repairs twice a week. Daniel attended Lily's next teacher meeting. He took Noah to the park on Saturday mornings. The children still spent time at the garage, but they were no longer expected to fit their whole childhood around the business. Daniel and Claire began having dinner together once a week, then twice. They did not rush. Claire respected Rebecca's place in the family. She never asked the children to forget their mother. She listened when Lily wanted to talk about her. She helped Noah place flowers beside Rebecca's photograph on her birthday a year later. Brooks Auto Repair expanded into the empty unit next door. Claire became a partner in the business. On the wall behind the new front desk, they framed the first job application she had brought into the shop. Under it, Noah had written in uneven letters, she came for a job and fixed everything. 2 years after Claire first walked into the garage, Daniel took her to a quiet restaurant. After dinner, he placed a small ring box on the table. Claire looked at it, then looked at him. Be careful what you say this time. Daniel laughed. Nervously, I don't need a wife. Claire raised an eyebrow. Daniel reached across the table and took her hand. I don't need you to save my business, raise my children, or carry my problems. I can't ask anyone to do those things for me. He opened the box. But I love you. Lily and Noah love you, and I want to build a life with you, not because we can't survive without you, but because life is better when we share it with you. Claire's eyes filled with tears. That was much better than the first speech, she whispered. Is that a yes? Yes. Their wedding was small. Lily wore the blue dress again, with a new ribbon around the waist. Noah carried the rings and nearly dropped them twice. Marcus closed the shop for the entire day. Before the ceremony, Daniel stood beside Rebecca's photograph. He quietly thanked her for the years they had shared and for the lessons she had left behind. Then he walked toward Claire and his children. This time, he was not late.